Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. I think it nearly takes a lifetime to comprehend what was yours and what was theirs. Is Brad Pitt being prohibited from seeing his children? Brad and ex-Angelina Jolie have been battling for a really long time over the care of their 6 youngsters. Furthermore, in spite of the fact that Brad as of late scored a significant legitimate triumph against Angelina, the case has now gone off in one more unexpected direction. Yet again, it appears as though Angelina has figured out how to prevent Brad from getting additional time with his children. Furthermore, Brad has now terminated back, guaranteeing Angelina is involving the children for exposure. Concerning the fans, while a large portion of them were Brad's ally as of not long ago, it presently seems as though they're turning on him and blaming him for running a slanderous attack against the mother of his youngsters. So what's truly happening between Brad and Angelina? Is Angelina attempting to restrict Brad from seeing his children? Or would she say she is utilizing the children to get back at him? We'll provide you with all sides of the story. So remain with us till the end of the video. Also, remember to buy into our feed for more letting the cat out of the bag. In all honesty, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have been battling about the guardianship of their children for 5 years. At this point, there's still no real endgame. Since Angelina petitioned for legal separation in September 2016, she's been going this way and that with Brad, who will invest more energy with their 6 kids, Maddox, Pat, Zahara, Shiloh, Knox, and Vivienne. Be that as it may, how could it arrive at this point? How did the previous brilliant several Hollywood become nemesis? Indeed, everything began with their profoundly advertised separation in 2016, when Angelina blamed Brad for abusive behavior at home. At that point, TMZ detailed that Angelina was requesting the appointed authority for sole actual care from the children, which was extremely uncommon since sole actual guardianship is ordinarily conceded when the other parent presents a threat to kids. One source told TMZ that Angelina became tired of Brad partaking in weed and drinking liquor, and accepted that he had serious outrage issues. The news came as a shock to numerous on the grounds that simply a month preceding the separation declaration, Angelina and Brad commended their subsequent commemoration and looked more joyful than any time in recent memory. This persuaded fans to think that something major, unquestionable requirement happened that made Angelina take such an intense measure. Angelina immediately took full care of the children as a feature of the impermanent guardianship understanding, while Brad was granted appearance freedoms. The Los Angeles region branch of Youngsters and Family Administrations suggested that a specialist ought to be available during Brad's gathering with the children. Furthermore, Brad also needed to take arbitrary liquor tests. Nonetheless, he more than once tried negative, and in November, the DFs got him free from any bad behavior. Meanwhile, TMZ distributed one more stunning report uncovering that Brad had gotten into a squabble with his child, Maddox, on board a confidential plane. As indicated by the report, Brad crossed a line he had never crossed before by thrusting at Maddox and connecting with him. Evidently, Brad and Angelina were battling about Brad's drinking, and Maddox hopped up to guard his mother verbally. Brad then purportedly lurched at Maddox, and Angelina was in the middle between them to safeguard her child. Nonetheless, sources near Brad guarantee Brad committed no maltreatment of his youngsters, and they were persuaded that the claims were important for Angelina's arrangement to get full authority over the kids. Sad individuals included are proceeding to introduce him in the absolute worst light, one source said at that point. A different insider let individuals know that Brad didn't deliberately hit Maddox and made sense of the fact that there was a parent-youngster contention that was not taken care of in the correct manner, and heightened had more than it ought to have. He didn't smack his kid in that frame of mind in any capacity. He didn't do that. He put his hands on him. Indeed, in light of the fact that the showdown was spiraling crazy, the insider demanded the source likewise proceeded to say that the allegations are a mix of Angelina's embellishments and lies by mid-2018. Angelina purportedly got eager to know what amount of time the legitimate cycle was requiring. So, trying to speed it up, she blamed Brad for not paying significant youngster support. Notwithstanding, Brad's group terminated back and delivered reports showing that Angelina never really mentioned youngster support. Brad's group likewise asserted that they were the ones who needed the separation and care case to get settled rapidly. Be that as it may, Angelina continued to record extra reports with the goal of increasing struggle. At long last, in November 2018, Brad and Angelina agreed, with Angelina holding over half guardianship and Brad getting additional time with his children. Be that as it may, Angelina was not yet cheerful. Also, one source let Hollywood Life know that this wasn't the specific result Angelina needed. However, it's one she can live with until further notice. The insider additionally asserted that Angelina settled on split care simply because she would have rather not needed to haul the children into court to make it significantly more horrendous for them. Be that as it may, quick forward to October 2020, and Angelina did precisely the exact thing she guaranteed she could never do. She got her child, Maddox, to affirm in court against Brad. Despite the fact that the subtleties of Maddox's declaration were uncovered, one source let us know. Week after week, Maddox had given a declaration as a grown-up in the continuous guardianship question, and it wasn't extremely complimenting toward Brad. Meanwhile, Angelina recorded new archives blaming Brad for aggressive behavior at home and said she and the children will offer evidence and authority on the side of their cases against Brad. Nonetheless, Brad's group pummeled Angelina for attempting to utilize the children to get back at Brad. What's more, one insider expressed that, over the past 4.5 years, there have been various cases made by Angelina that have been looked into but not validated, adding that the kids have been utilized by Angelina to hurt Brad previously. Also, this is a greater amount of that way of behaving. At last, in May 2021, Brad figured out how to score a significant legitimate success when Judge John Otterkirk conceded him joint guardianship. As indicated by a report distributed on page 6, the confidential appointed authority employed by Brad and Angelina made the decision following quite a while of witness declarations, including kid administration experts who talked with the Jolie Pitt youngsters and other people who have been around the family. One source near Brad made sense of the fact that Brad was simply attempting to have additional time with his children. What's more, it has been certain that Angie has done all that could be within reach to forestall this. In any case, the decision was conditional, and it didn't take well before reports arose that Angelina had still not abandoned her battle for full guardianship. Angelina then attempted to get Judge John Otterkirk eliminated from the case and asserted he was not fair since he was chipping away at legitimate issues, including Brad Pitt's attorney. However, Brad's legal counselor, Theodore Boutroux, terminated back, guaranteeing Angelina had some awareness of the potential clash from the start. In July, Angelina figured out how to get Judge John Otterkirk excluded from the guardianship case, and furthermore, had the past decision to grant Brad additional time with the children turned around. This really implies that Angelina will hold full-time authority over the children, while Brad will just have appearance freedoms. What's more, in spite of the fact that Brad mentioned a survey of a California reappraising court's decision on Wednesday, October 27, the California High Court denied his solicitation. In an explanation to E.T. Angelina's lawyer, Robert Olson said that Angelina invites the California High Court's choice and is centered around her family and satisfied that her youngsters' prosperity won't be directed by an untrustworthy way of behaving. In any case, the show is not yet finished. Also, Brad is presently guaranteeing that Angelina's new honorary pathway excursions with her youngsters are important for her arrangement to win public health. One source near Brad told the New York Post that Angelina is utilizing the children and added, "It's difficult to comprehend how this way of behaving and marching them around is to their greatest advantage. Brad never takes the children out freely, and he seldom discusses them." Be that as it may, in all honesty, fans who, up until this point, had for the most part agreed with Brad's position are currently calling him out for being unpleasant and paying the sensationalist newspapers to run smear anecdotes about Angelina. The slanderous attack against Angelina Jolie has begun. One fan tweeted, "I trust her. I trust her youngsters. Brad Pitt has compulsion issues and a demonstrated history of seeing no less than one of his kids, Maddox. He's just permitted to administer appearances. There's a justification behind this. Brad, you squandered long stretches of having a slanderous attack against the mother of your kids as opposed to claiming up." One fan composed. Others brought up how it's absurd of Brad to blame Angelina for involving the children for exposure when he was glad to walk the red rugs with them back when he and Angelina were together. Why is Brad Pitt discussing Angelina Jolie carrying the children to her film debuts? One fan said, saying that is actually an exposure stunt.